You're listening to Africa's #1 lifestyle online radio.
What inspired the company?
How would I start now? But it started just like a joke. I didn't know I'll get to this place that we are today, because I know I was still working then, and I spoke with my mentor who told me, "Oh, Lizzie, you can actually."
What's the name of your mentor now? Shout out to the mentor now. Why you did this?
Michael Oku, and I know I spoke to Prof.
Yeah.
And there's also a very good friend who really pushed me then, Godwin Edomaro said.
Where is my shekere? Where is my shekere?
So they all pushed,
yeah.
And I know Michael Oku called out to me one day and said, there is a gap when it comes to recruitment of domestic staffs. And I said, why? It said because every HR person that wants to enter into consulting would prefer to do the corporate kind of consulting. That is this funky, you go speak English and whatever. So I should come down to domestic staff level. I said, okay, that's fine. Can I try it? He said, yes, I could. So I spoke to my husband there. My husband.
Oh, yeah, shut up. Mention his name because you're mentioning everybody's name. What is your husband's name?
I spoke to Amin Bika.
Okay.
You know, Amin Bika did not trust in me because I've brought up so many businesses now. Today I'll tell Amin Bika, today is fish I want to sell. Tomorrow is now akara. This is that. So when I now brought out this business, he said, I beg, madam, you've started. Why not just, okay, go ahead, let's see. So it all started in my sitting room. I started having clients. All of a sudden, I don't know how the whole thing came up. I had my first client, and the lady, Mrs. Jumoke, I'll never forget her, Mrs. Jumoke.
Shout out to Mrs. Jumoke.
I had, and I gave her a cook. So many people started tripping into my sitting room. My husband called and said, no, I can't take this anymore. Can you kindly go and look for an office? I said, oh, God, beg. I don't get money for
office. For no girls
he said, just do it. And I will foot the bills. I said,
wow, who?
Congratulations.
Who is your husband?
Alaji Vika. So that was how I started 1111, and thank God we are here today.
All right. So, Adeze Obasi, HR guru, HR executive, has it been so far? I'm still coming back to you, Lizzie.
Okay.
Has it been so far working with 11Consult? Has it been? I'm sure you're not new in the business or in the company. Has it been so far? The journey so far?
So the journey so far has been very interesting for me.
Okay.
I remember just finishing my final exams and defending my project, and I came down to Lagos. I schooled at Olabisi Onabanjo University, and I studied HR.
Oh, really? You
and
don't look like Olabisi Onabanjo.
Yes, I look like a Covenant University.
Yeah, you don't look like a rugged Niger student.
Yes. So when I got back to Lagos, I began looking for something, and then a friend sent me a link. Shout out to Oge. He sent me
Oge. Shout out to Oge.
And that was how I applied. I wasn't even expecting a response because I had not gone for NYSC yet, and I knew it was like a really professional job, HR.
Yeah.
Yes. So I got a mail, and I was quite surprised, and that was how, the rest is history now, as they say, because I've been working here for over a year. It's a year and 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember that I studied HR in school. I had the knowledge, but there was no practical to it.
Okay.
So even when I was in the HR space, things were a bit new to me.
Okay.
I knew I'd heard of placements and all of those things, recruitment,
shortlisting.
Yes, I heard about it, but I never practiced.
You see, I just showed you that I have some HR skills.
Yeah, 11Consult gave me that platform to practice what I'd actually learned over the years.
Yeah.
And so far, it's just been an amazing journey for me, and I'm grateful I'm here.
All right. So back to you, Mrs. Lizzie Baker. So the way you just narrated the startup business is more like it's easy. Okay, I got Rema, I spoke to my friends, I spoke to Alaji Bika, Alaji, my husband, opened an office, and boom, I blew. No, we're not going to deceive our audience out there. I'm also a CEO, and I know what it takes to start up a business. It's not easy. Yeah. In fact, it takes like a year or 2 years of sacrifice, sometimes even more.
It's 5 years.
Yes, I know it's 5 years. I said so, but it takes years for you to start reaping the fruit of your labor. It takes a lot of sacrifice, challenges. There are some points that you want to give up. So please share with us the journey so far. This journey so far, let me break it down for you. You understand? The journey so far, how it started, your challenges, your success story and what pushed you to continue at any point that you wanted to stop, because I feel all CEOs had that point that you're like, oh man, I don't tire, you get. So I want you to share with us the journey so far, your challenges when you started, so that people that are listening will know and learn from starting up a business. So your challenges so far, your success story, and what made you push the moment you wanted to stop. Yeah.
So I must say it was not funny. It wasn't funny at all, because when I started, I got someone to work with me. So it's even my salary, my monthly salary, I was using to pay salary.
Wow.
That is paying salary.
So you're not even getting anything from the beginning.
I was not getting anything from the beginning. It got to a time I spoke to a daughter of mine and said, this business is like me, I will quit. So he said, why? That we are here together. We'll go run arms.
I like the switch.
We go run arms. So that was that. So I started paying. I could remember her name is Tiwa. Perhaps she might.
Shout out to Tiwa. We're shouting out today on the Fate of the Man show.
I paid Tiwa, and she was so understanding.
Yeah.
So we started having so many challenges. But for me, the challenges made us learn a lot, because he had to put our toes on ground to start doing things the right way.
Yeah.
But I could remember when I started the first time, a lady called in and said, "Oh, Lizzie, you're not professional. You're not professional at all. All these ones you are doing, this." I didn't take it as an insult. I had to sit down and start looking into it. Okay, why did this woman say I'm not professional?
Yeah.
What do I do to become professional? I had to look at those gaps, and I filled in that gap. For now, nobody, I can say it, beat my chest, and nobody will say, "Oh, Lizzie," but it's not, we're still letting go.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
hype yourself
or hype myself.
Correct.
Say you get me.
Yeah.
You see, they run them, they rugged them.
This kind of HR I've not seen before.
But you know, the what kept us pushing is, when you think about failure, and failure is not
It's not an option.
Yes, to go for, you continue to push.
Okay.
You continue to push.
So
okay.
So I know when it comes to domestic staff and recruitment, you know, HR is one level in terms of corporate world, people that have sense. You're dealing with educated people that have sense and are civilized and exposed. It's a different scenario when you're dealing with domestic staff, nannies, drivers.
You can say that.
Yes.
Again.
So
Yeah.
how has it been so far? Have you ever gotten into trouble trying to recruit a domestic staff for a client that maybe they will arrest you?
God got
because I'm
me.
sure so many people have put eyes. So many people have had interest in this recruitment of domestic staff, but because of the fear of the unknown, what if they kill Oga? What if they collect, or what if nanny collect Oga from Madam? You know, there are a lot of risks when it comes to domestic staff recruitment.
Yeah.
Has there been any scenario where it was really challenging, you almost got into trouble, or God has been faithful so far?
God has been faithful so far. So
Okay.
we've not had such challenges, and I pray not to, but we've put in some kind of how would I put it? Some kind of structures. Okay, yeah, thank you. There's some kind of structures that if we eventually had to go into such shit. Sorry, I'm using that word here.
Hey, sorry, it might be new, our listeners. I told you these HR people, they are extraordinary.
Get such problems. Yes. We know how to sort it out immediately.
All right, so
because there is something we introduced into our processes. We call it biometrics. So we had to take biometrics of every domestic staff.
Wow, so there's no way they can run.
So there is no way they can run. And also, you know, what gives an edge to getting a domestic staff that will go to a client and steal today? It's when you don't pay them well.
Yeah.
Because we have domestic staff that some people will call in and say, "Oh, Madam Lizzie, I need a domestic staff." And you said, "Oh, our domestic staff are from 30K and above." They say, "Wow, I can't pay 30K and above. The last person that gave it to me is just 15,000 naira." I'll tell you proper and plain, I don't do 15,000 naira domestic staff, because I don't want to go back and go and land myself in Kirikiri.
Yes.
Because if you pay your staffs
they won't steal from you. They'll bring out their hearts to serve you well, and they'll be loyal. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I presume or assume that is why we've not had such problems
so
of our
far.
staffs. Yes, stealing.
And God got you.
Yes, stealing from our clients.
And God got you. I'm a Christian,
got me,
you know.
God got me. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Oh shit! Today. Sandra Adese Obasi. Sorry, I used to have a Sandra Obasi in uni, so I think you just made me remember her. So we've been saying so much about your startup and the rest, but let me now ask for my listeners, or the benefit of my listeners, what does 11Consult, what does it entail? What are the services you guys provide? Because I know it's a broad consulting firm. I know it's not just domestic staff. I know it's not just HR. So can you just break it? Either of you, the services you guys provide.
Okay, so 1111 is a recruiting agency. We recruit. So we have clients that outsource their HR needs to us, and everything HR is what we do. Though we started with the employment of domestic staff, so that is like our forte, which is what people know us for basically, but we go beyond that.
Okay.
We offer trainings, we offer CV rejigging, so if you want to do your CV, we have that service as well. Then we also place professionals. Aside from domestic staff and drivers and the likes, we also place accountants, depending on what our clients want. So it depends on what they need at that particular point in time. When they let us know that this is what they need, we help them with that need as well. So it cuts across various sector, not just for domestic staff. We do for both skilled and unskilled. So there's something for everybody when it comes to 1111.
So do you guys provide HR services to companies that don't have HR services? And if yes, how do you go about it? Because I know you have an office,
yes,
and I have an office and I need a HR person. How do you guys juggle? How do you handle that aspect?
Okay, so I remember that we have a particular client, is a hotel, and they outsource their HR needs to us. So when they want to employ whatever, we are in charge of that. And what we do is that we put out an ad, we get people to apply, just like people would apply for jobs. It's discussed with us, and we shortlist about 2 or 3 more that we feel are okay, and then they can see our clients. So that's basically how it works when it comes to them outsourcing their whole HR needs to us.
All right, so I'm sure some people that lack the knowledge of the importance of, seeking services from you all will be like, why will I need an 1111 when I can go to my village and get a girl to take care of my children or clean my house? Because I know then growing up, before we started this whole HR whatever, that's what we do. Go village. I know if you train my pikin go school. Yeah, may I carry your pikin go Lagos? She go they clean house. I go send them go school. So some people still are stuck with that mentality. Mm-hmm. What risks do they find themselves in for not seeking professional hands like you guys to help recruit? What are the risks involved when you don't seek a professional consulting firm like 1111 to help recruit your domestic staff?
Okay, so many risks are involved here. Yeah. Okay, like I have a client, turned sister, Mrs. Samuel. She came into our office yesterday and was telling me, Mrs. Bika, I just took one girl. Guess what? The girl took my iPhone and $200 from my husband's wallet.
Amongst others.
I'm like, exactly.
Are you serious?
Yes. And I said, Mrs. Samuel, how come? How did you go now? Because I'm sure we didn't give you a staff. He said, yes, so you didn't give me that. I had to call my elder sister. My elder sister said, don't worry, I have somebody that will get to you now. And you're going to pay the person just 10 or 15,000 naira. That was when I brought up that pay your staffs well, and they will treat you well.
I've always been, yes.
So I have that blah 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 thing. I said, wow, Mrs. Samuels, how did you go? So what I'm trying to portray here is that if you get a professional hands, because before we deploy these domestic staffs, we have a concrete training with them. We have to train them on how to behave. We talk about etiquette, we talk about your hygiene, and so on and so forth.
Hygiene is very key.
Yes. So when they are going into your place, they have that mindset that I'm going to go and work, because
and
that is what exactly I represent the company that sent us here. So what what I'm trying to say here is that you are free to get somebody from your village. You might be lucky to get a very good one, but at the same time, I would try to tell people that, okay, fine, you are looking for a cheap labor, or yes, I don't want somebody I will pay. I don't want somebody that will stay in my house full time because I want to train the person. You can as well train this person and still send this person to school. It doesn't really matter. Yes, it doesn't really matter. It's just adding back to the society. If you're opportune to do it, why not do it? Yeah, you need to do it. So that risk that I'm talking about getting a professional is because we follow through our processes, the processes of us recruiting. Because I could say it's very, very, very what English will I use now? Tedious for us to get a fit for our lives.
So thinking about processing, this is for Daisy. What are your processes like in terms of hiring domestic staff? Driver, nanny. I think nannies and drivers are the most, and chefs, I don't know, but domestic in general. What are your processes? Because I might be saying, all these people, they've come to speak English, you understand? They want to collect plenty money from us. So what are the processes? Because I know it's not overboard. I know it's your fees will be affordable. So what are the minimum? So what are the fees, your rates, and also your processes? If I want a domestic staff from 11Consult, what are the things I need to know? What are the take me through the process and your fees?
All right, thank you. So your first question is the process is to get a domestic staff,
a nanny, driver, chef, just So
and like Mrs. Bika said, she made mention of the fact that it is a very critical position because this person is intruding into your private life. This person is going to see your family and meet with people that are important to you. So we don't take this role very lightly. We make sure that we employ people that we know. So we have a genuine source where we get girls from. We don't pick any random girl that applies for a job. We have someone that gives us this girl, someone that we can hold accountable to. Aside from that, they have guarantors. We ensure that they must have guarantors. I remember one lady came one time and we had already done everything. I realized later on that there's no guarantor, and that was the end because we cannot send you to somebody and no one can stand in for you.
You're not accountable to anybody.
Yeah, because we know how important that role is. We ensure that they are able to provide us with guarantors, and we ensure that we also do the background check, and we ensure that all of those informations are correct. So the first process is to get the girls in. We have how we get them in, and when we get them in, we send profiles to our clients because they may tell us what they want, their specifications. Okay, I want somebody from this particular tribe, I want somebody within the age range of this to this. We gather all of those information and then we send some girls their profiles that would suit those specifications. Some people may say, okay, my spirit goes with this particular lady, or I feel like this lady looks more presentable, let her come in for a physical interview. And then she goes, if she's picked, we continue with the rest of the process, which is doing the background check and the rest of that. So that's how it works.
So it's not just enough for them to have a guarantor. You also check.
They verify.
You go to their houses.
And reports to them. We go to their houses. I've been to a couple of houses. She has also been to a couple of houses. We do that ourselves. Sometimes we send people. So it just depends on the mood, I guess.
So biometric, I'm hearing about biometric for the first time. How does that work?
Okay,
I know it has to do with thumbprint, but how does it relate with security? Yes, for you to get a client or a nanny, to do the whole biometrics process.
Okay, it's a package. There is a particular package that covers biometrics. Not all package that covers the biometrics thing. So what we'll do is, if a client really want an in-depth process, that is when a client picks up that particular package. So what we do is run it through, and the last process you need to go is you go to a labo. When you get to a labo, we have a contact there at Alabo. Yes,
guys are really professionals.
Yes, we have a contact there at Alabo, so you just go there, go through all your biometrics. Your passport must be taken. So with that, you have that mindset that these people know they play. I'm not going in for joke. So even when you have that mindset, I'm going to go and steal. Maybe I'm going to go and target the dollars or the gold, the jewelry,
or even the husband.
Or maybe
some nannies used to steal some husband.
Yes, you now know that it's not a joke. So I need to take this seriously.
Well, can you run us through your rate? Your rate, how much you charge for your services? Because I want to know as well. So let's start with nannies. How do you charge for nannies? Then we'll go to drivers, chefs, then HR services in general. Who want to answer?
So for our nannies and chefs, we have packages that our clients would have to pick from. So we have the Ruby package, we have the Emerald package, and we have the Sapphire. The Ruby is the is the package that has fewer features, while Emerald has like
features like what?
Features, yes. I'll run you through them. So for Ruby, if someone is saying he or she wants us to get staff for them,
that's the most affordable package.
Yeah, we do the background check, like I said earlier. We do guarantors verification. Then we have trainings is on all of the packages, because we know it's very important that these people are trained. Then we have hygiene kit, which consists of pad, we have their roll-ons, so
roll-on, very important,
everything. Yes. And then we have the reference check as well.
Okay.
So for Sapphire, which is the one in between,
how much are these fees? You're not mentioning their price.
So for the Ruby, it is 30,700.
Are you scared to talk about it? Let's know.
Ruby is 30,700, and it has the features I just mentioned. So the next after Ruby is Sapphire.
How much?
And it is 39,700.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yes. So Sapphire has everything Ruby has except medical tests. So that is the only thing missing from
Ruby.
From Sapphire that is not in Ruby.
So Sapphire gives medical check, but Ruby doesn't.
Ruby doesn't.
Okay.
Yes.
And
because
medical check is very important.
Yes, we have clients that tell us I will do it myself. So there's a package for them.
Because it's very important. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then the highest, which is Emerald, has everything. I'll run you through it. It is 59,700.
Okay.
And it has the medical test, it has the background check, guarantors verification, trainings, biometrics capturing, which is where they have to go to Alagbon. We have the scrub, the apron, and Crocs. That's their uniforms.
Oh,
get
that's
it
cute.
for them. Yes.
Yeah.
Then hygiene kit and reference check. So everything. We're ticking all the boxes here.
I think I want to go for the highest. You know me, I'm a big guy. I don't like to settle for less. So if I'm to require or get or seek a nanny or a domestic staff, I'll go for the highest, because I like to play safe. And I cannot stand smell. My domestic staffs, they know once I use style or use skinny to smell, I'm already telling you to raise up your hands, and I'm spraying your armpits and your body. So they know already. In fact, sometimes they will come, my cleaner will come and say, Auntie, Madam, I know they smell today, because they know I will. So I teach them hygiene, because one thing for you to give your domestic staff the kit is another thing for them to know how to use it. I see hair on your armpit, I'm like, even if you use roll-on, you will smell, because you need to shave. So trainings too are very important. I must say you guys are doing great. So quickly, before we call it a wrap, can you run us through on tips on how to treat your domestic staff well, so they remain loyal and they stay?
For me, I think it's just empathy. Yes,
okay.
Empathy. So when you look at what is going on now, it's not because you're opportuned and you think other people out there are also opportuned. So there are so many things going out there. We all know Nigerian these days. So if you are opportune to get somebody into your house, I'll advise you to be human and
treat them like
well.
your
Yes.
own, like your
exactly,
own.
Because I know a certain client called me and said, Madam, if I'm paying this person's salary, how many times I could feed her?
Jesus.
He said, I don't understand. Is it because you are paying her a salary? Is that why you shouldn't feed her? You are asking me. And this question shouldn't come out from you, Madam. With all due respect, how many times you pay your children's school fees? You clothe them. You do so many things for your kids. And you still feed them. They even eat more than enough. Like my own house, I know we have breakfast, lunch, but we still put some things for them to go. Mommy, I'm hungry, and this, that. Yes. So we just need to know how to treat them. And if you don't want your domestic staff to leave, there is what I encourage people to do: communicate. Communication is key. If you know this person is not doing it right, call the person. Benny, this one that you are doing, so me, I don't appreciate it, or I don't like it.
Always.
And yet, you just carry that domestic staff along, and you see the domestic staff will even start having that feelings that, it's like I'm part of this home now. Let me start doing things the right way. And you see them staying.
So like I tell everyone, when you treat your domestic staff like your own, you are even protecting yourself and your family. I have a friend that practically adopted her domestic staff. In fact, you go to her house, the family picture, the domestic staff is there.
Exactly.
The uniform that they wore, the domestic staff wore it. The same person that plates her her daughter's hair plate, and she goes to a private school as well. So now tell me how that domestic staff will beat your children mercilessly, steal from you, or eat your food when you have already embraced it. Although there are some domestic staff that have coconut hair, though. No matter what you do to them, they will not. But there are a lot
then
that
they follow those ones from village.
Yeah, Miss Vika said they follow, but the ones that have sense, when you treat them, I have a driver, I have a cleaner, I have staff. I treat them like my own. So my cleaner wants to eat in the house, and she's saying, "Ma, which plate should I use? Which cup should I use? I don't want to use the same plate." And I'm like, "Why?" I said, "Are you not human? You took your bath today, I took my bath today. Do you understand? So why should there be segregation?" So I think it's very key. Treat them the way you treat your children. Treat them the way you would treat yourself, and they will stay. Is there any other tip that we need to give our listeners apart from treating them? I think pay them well.